Tell me, beloved seeker, why is it that the hearts most drenched in compassion seem to be the ones most drenched in wounds? Why do the gentle ones, who cannot bear to hurt even an insect, find themselves pierced again and again by the cruelty of others? Why do those who give more than they take, who forgive more than they are forgiven, who speak truth even when it costs them, become the very targets of ridicule, betrayal and suspicion? The question burns like a hidden flame. Why does life wound its healers? Why does destiny bend the backs of the righteous? Why do good people suffer? This is no small inquiry. It is not the question of scholars debating in the safety of their books. It is the cry of the soul that has been cut open by life, yet still refuses to abandon its goodness. Perhaps you have asked this question in your solitude, when no one was listening but God. Perhaps you whispered into your pillow, eyes swollen with tears, "Why Allah? Why me? What wrong have I done except to love, to give, to trust?" And silence answered, but even silence has its wisdom. For silence is not emptiness, it is the doorway to a truth that words cannot contain. Seeker, I know your pain. I know the secret burden you carry, though you rarely speak of it. You have loved with all your heart and been betrayed. You have stood in loyalty and been abandoned. You have given your hand freely, only to find it slapped away. The world does not always return kindness with kindness. Often it returns it with suspicion, as if generosity must be a disguise for manipulation. Often it returns it with envy, as if your contentment is an insult to their restlessness. Often it returns it with mockery, as if sincerity is foolishness in a world built on masks. And this wounds you more deeply than you admit, because your goodness is not a performance. It is your nature. It is your prayer in motion. So when the world rejects it, it feels as though the world rejects you. How many nights have you carried this ache in silence? How many times have you smiled in front of others, but collapsed into tears when alone? How many times have you questioned your own worth, asking if perhaps there is something broken in you? This is the hidden suffering of the good, to feel misunderstood in a world that praises power more than purity, appearance more than essence, selfishness more than sacrifice. And yet, even in your pain, you cannot stop being who you are. You try to close your heart, but it opens again. You try to harden yourself, but softness is your nature. And so the cycle repeats. You give, you get hurt, you heal, you give again. But listen closely now, for in this suffering lies a secret. Good people do not suffer because they are cursed. They suffer because they are chosen. Your goodness is a mirror, and mirrors do not lie. When others look at you, they do not only see you, they see themselves. They see the truths they have hidden. They see the shadows they cannot face. They see the masks they have glued to their own skin. And here lies the mystery. When someone cannot bear their own reflection, they will shatter the mirror. They mistake the mirror for the wound. They confuse your light with an attack. So understand, they do not truly hate you. They hate what awakens in them when they stand before you. Your kindness reminds them of their own cruelty. Your honesty reminds them of their lies. Your peace reminds them of their restlessness. Your freedom reminds them of their chains. This is why the prophets, the saints, the sages, those who carried the clearest mirrors of all, were often rejected, mocked, and exiled. Not because they were wrong, but because their presence revealed too much. Good people suffer because their very existence uncovers what the world would rather keep hidden. As the mystics whisper, The ocean does not apologize for its depth, nor the sun for its brilliance. Why then should the heart apologize for its goodness? Do you see? The sun continues to shine, whether the blind curse its light or not. The ocean continues to roar, whether the thirsty fear its waves or not. And you, seeker, you must continue to love, even if your love is rejected. You must continue to shine, even if your light blinds those unready to see. For your goodness is not a flaw, it is your trust with the divine. Let us dive deeper still. Why does goodness attract trial? Why does light seem to summon darkness? Because opposites awaken each other. Because resistance is proof of weight. Because purity reveals impurity. When a liar meets another liar, he feels safe, for both play the same game. But when a liar meets the truthful, his mask trembles, and trembling breeds hostility. When the selfish meet the selfish, they clash but they understand each other. But when the selfish meet the selfless, they feel exposed, and exposure breeds resentment. So the good suffer not because they are wrong, but because their being reveals. It is as if your soul is a lamp placed in a dark cave. The lamp is innocent, but its light awakens bats who curse it. The lamp did not intend to disturb them. It only shone as it was created to shine. And so it is with you. Your suffering is not the evidence of your failure. It is the evidence of your radiance. Do not confuse rejection with insignificance. Do not mistake betrayal for proof of weakness. Even the prophets, peace be upon them, were slandered, mocked, betrayed, and opposed, not because they lacked goodness, but because their goodness was too sharp for blind eyes. Seeker, your wounds are not random. They are the price of being a mirror, and a mirror must remain clear even if stones are thrown against it. Seeker, pause and look around you. Life is always whispering its secrets, but only the patient ear can hear. Notice how those who mock you most harshly carry their own hidden wounds. Notice how those who betray you are already at war within themselves. Notice how those who cannot celebrate your joy are the ones most strangled by envy. It is not you they reject. It is the reflection you awaken in them. Life is a hall of mirrors. Every insult is a confession. Every act of cruelty is a self-portrait. Every rejection is an echo of someone's inner exile. When someone spits venom, it is not because your nectar is bitter. It is because their tongue has been trained in poison. When someone casts shadows upon you, it is not because your light is false. It is because their eyes cannot yet bear the sun. The good person, then, is not truly hated for who they are. They are hated for what they reveal. They hold up a mirror, and many cannot endure to see themselves. But here lies the danger, beloved. When their stones strike your mirror, when their words pierce your softness, you may be tempted to swallow their poison. This is the true trial, not that others wound you, but that you may become like them. Bitterness is more contagious than any disease. One drop of resentment can turn a river of love into mud. One seed of hatred can sprout into a forest of thorns. So beware. If you let their cruelty plant itself in you, your garden will wither too. This is why the mystics teach, do not hand your heart to every passerby, for some walk barefoot and crush roses without knowing. It is not your task to stop people from throwing stones. It is your task to keep your mirror clear, to polish it with patience, to cleanse it with remembrance, to guard it with trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not let borrowed poison become your food. Do not let their shadows become your home. Your goodness is sacred. Protect it even when the world mocks it. And now, let me comfort your heart. Do not think you are cursed because you suffer. Do not think you are forgotten because you bleed. Even the prophets walked this lonely road. Even the saints were exiled from their cities. Even the most radiant stars burn themselves while giving light to others. Your pain is not evidence of divine abandonment. It is evidence of divine nearness. For the closer a soul comes to its source, the sharper the chiseling becomes. Have you seen how the sculptor strikes the stone? With each blow, the form hidden inside emerges. The stone does not understand, it only feels the pain. But the sculptor knows. He is not destroying, he is revealing. So it is with you. Your trials are the strikes of the divine sculptor. Your suffering is the polishing of your mirror. Your wounds are not wasted, they are shaping. Beloved, you are not lost. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are being carved into something your present self cannot yet comprehend. Now listen to this paradox. The more goodness you carry, the more trials you attract. Why? Because only gold is tested by fire. Only diamonds are cut with pressure. Only souls destined for greatness are asked to walk through storms. The world does not bother to wound what has no value. The world ignores dust, but it strikes at gems. The paradox is sharp. The reward of goodness is not comfort, it is fire. The proof of love is not ease, it is trial. The sign of sincerity is not applause, it is rejection. This is the law of the unseen. What is high must be tested. What is pure must be proved. What is luminous must be hidden in darkness before it can rise. So if life burns you, remember, it does not burn the worthless. It burns only what is worth. Now listen to this paradox. The more goodness you carry, the more trials you attract. Why? Because only gold is tested by fire. Only diamonds are cut with pressure. Only souls destined for greatness are asked to walk through storms. The world does not bother to wound what has no value. The world ignores dust, but it strikes at gems. The paradox is sharp. The reward of goodness is not comfort, it is fire. The proof of love is not ease, it is trial. The sign of sincerity is not applause, it is rejection. This is the law of the unseen. What is high must be tested. What is pure must be proved. What is luminous must be hidden in darkness before it can rise. So if life burns you, remember, it does not burn the worthless. It burns only what has worth. Beloved seeker, let me take you deeper still. Do you imagine your suffering is without purpose? Do you think your wounds are random scratches upon the fragile skin of existence? No. Every thorn that pierces you has been written before time itself was born. Every betrayal, every loss, every heartbreak, it was all inked in the book of destiny. Not to destroy you, but to align you. For the soul cannot rise until it is forced to kneel. The heart cannot open until it has been broken. The spirit cannot awaken until the illusions it clings to have been torn away. Understand this: your suffering is not chaos. It is choreography. Each trial is a step in the dance between you and the beloved. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. Positioned for growth. Positioned for clarity. Positioned for nearness. When you look back one day, you will see the hidden wisdom. The loss that felt like death was the doorway to new life. The rejection that shattered you was the push that set you on your true path. The betrayal that bled you was the knife that cut the ropes tying you to false companions. Yes, beloved, destiny is not cruel, it is precise. And your pain is not proof of distance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is proof of His meticulous design. But you may ask, how do I endure this weight? How do I live with suffering without drowning in it? The mystics give us keys. When pain arrives, do not curse it. Sit with it, as you would sit with an old teacher. Ask, what are you carving out of me? What part of me must die so that a truer self may live? When betrayal strikes, do not close your heart. Let it bleed, yes, but let it bleed in prayer. Offer your wound to the one who heals all wounds. When rejection comes, do not chase after those who leave. Release them with grace. Their absence is protection you cannot yet understand. In daily life, embody this truth. Practice silence more than speech. Practice patience more than reaction. Practice forgiveness more than retaliation. Not because the world deserves it, but because your soul deserves peace. Remember, goodness is not about how others treat you. It is about how you respond to what they do. And your response must remain rooted in the soil of the divine. Think, seeker, of the tree in winter. Its branches are stripped bare, its leaves stolen by the wind, its beauty seemingly gone. The passerby may think, this tree is dead. It has nothing left to give. But the wise one knows within the unseen depths, its roots are drinking deeply. It is gathering strength, preparing for the spring no one believes is coming. So it is with you. Your winters are not your end, they are your preparation. Or think of the pearl. It is not born in light, but in the darkness of the shell, through the irritation of a wound. Without pain, the pearl cannot form. So too your beauty is hidden within the irritations of your trials. Or think of the storm. It rages, it breaks, it terrifies. But after it passes, the air is clearer, the sky is sharper, and the earth is washed clean. So too your suffering. It is not meant to destroy you, but to cleanse you, to prepare you for clarity. Now let me remind you of what is highest. Patience is not weakness. Silence is not defeat. Surrender is not giving up. When you surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are not falling into emptiness. You are falling into His hands. Hands that never drop. Hands that never tire. Hands that wrote your story before your tongue ever spoke His name. Do not measure your worth by how the world treats you. The world mocked prophets. The world rejected saints. The world crucified the righteous. Your worth is measured only by Him who sees all, and His gaze upon you is mercy. Even when you suffer, you are not outside His care. Even when you weep, your tears are counted. Remember this truth. The closer you come to the source, the more you will feel like a stranger in this world. But take heart. You were never meant to be at home here. You were meant to be a traveler. And now, beloved, let me reveal the secret we promised at the beginning. Good people suffer because suffering itself is the alchemy of the soul. It refines you, it sharpens you, it strips away illusions, it prepares you to carry what the ordinary cannot. Without suffering, the soul remains raw, untested, unready. With suffering, the soul is cooked, its flavors deepened, its essence revealed. This is why the mystics say, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Your suffering is not a punishment. It is an initiation. It is the fire that proves your gold. It is the chisel that sculpts your form. It is the storm that prepares you to carry skies within your chest. And here is the hidden law. The greater the light within you, the greater the trial outside you. Because only the vessel that is tested can hold the wine of divine wisdom. So if you are suffering, do not despair. You are being prepared. You are being chosen. You are being entrusted.